So Stephanie White is the coach of the Fever, and obviously, look, the Indiana Fever have their team almost set. It literally comes down to Michaela Timson versus Jalen Brown.
The Indiana Fever just locked in their final roster spot, and it's not who the casuals expected. Forward center Michaela Timson just made a major leap, earning her stripes in a league that doesn't hand out freebies. 12 spots, no G League backup plan, and 0 safety nets. The competition's ruthless, and somehow Timson thrived. Let's talk about how this changes everything.
So I just want to say congratulations to Michaela Timson. I gotta say congrats to Michaela Timson on making the final Indiana Fever roster.
You know how people think making a WNBA roster is just a formality once you're drafted? Yeah, toss that idea in the trash. This isn't the NBA. There's no G League, no two-way contract. No, let's develop her for 2 years. You make the roster, or you're back on a plane to Europe. And the Fever just told the world that Michaela Timson is worth betting on.
It's a really, really good thing to make this team. Like, it's not easy to make. Like, I know a lot of people just assume rookies make teams like it's the NBA. They don't. They don't. Not in the WNBA. Not with 12 roster spots. Not with no G League. Players aren't guaranteed to make team.
Here's the reality check. There are only 12 roster spots in the WNBA. 12. Not per position. Total. You think that's enough room for fluff? No shot. So when someone like Timson makes that list, it means she beat out people who were expected to survive cuts. People with hype, people with resumes. And still, she won. And no, this wasn't a charity pick. She didn't coast in on good vibes or locker room morale. Timson balled out. She's not just some extra body in practice or a backup cheerleader for Caitlyn Clark's rookie season tour. She's there because she fits, on the floor and on the books. That last part? Let's talk about it. The WNBA hard cap is brutal. There's no flex room. You sign a rookie who doesn't perform and you're stuck with dead weight. That makes every slot a high-stakes decision. So when Indiana slid her name across the final line, they were saying, "We think this one has real value." Now, let's be clear. Michaela wasn't the obvious pick for this team back on draft night. People were debating if she'd even fit with Indiana. They've got Aaliyah Boston, Damiris Dantas, Nalissa Smith, and other frontcourt pieces. So yeah, eyebrows went up, but turns out Indiana was ahead of the curve. Again. Because when you really zoom out, Michaela Timson's style is exactly what the Fever needed to round out this roster. She's a power forward built for chaos. She runs, she rebounds, she defends like she's got something to prove, because she does. And you don't survive the final cut in the WNBA without that fire. Bree Hall? Gone. Jillian Elaine? Gone. Egypt? Gone. That's not to disrespect those players, but stats on bad teams overseas? Not a vibe. The Fever didn't get blinded by box scores. They watched the tape. They saw what worked in the system. And Timson fit. And for the "but she's not a shooter" crowd, relax. No, she's not a knockdown three-point threat yet. But the form's clean. She hits her free throws. That's usually the first sign of shots coming together. Will she be bombing threes in her rookie season? Number butt down the road? It's on the table. What she does have right now is bounce, movement, defensive IQ. She's not just some tall body in the paint. She actually knows how to rotate, when to help, and how to move without getting exposed on switches. That's gold in today's league. Now let's get into the real meat of it, why this matters for Caitlyn Clark. Look, Clark's arrival has already turned Indiana into a circus of hype. Every move she makes will be dissected like it's a Zapruder film. So what she doesn't need is a chaotic second unit or a mismatched frontcourt. Timson gives her a low-maintenance, high-effort piece, someone who won't clog the offense, won't demand touches, and will absolutely hustle to get stops. That's the kind of teammate Clark needs while she adjusts to the pros. Not another star, A role player who knows how to be a star in her role. Now, the Fever weren't even supposed to get Timson, at least not according to all the pre-draft noise. She wasn't mocked high, she wasn't a Twitter darling, but they got her at 19, and it's low-key one of the best value picks in the whole draft. You know what makes it even better? She could have gone earlier. Some mocks had her top 15. Some even whispered top 10. So how did Indiana get her at 19? They were patient, they played the board, they didn't reach. And now they've got a rookie with actual playoff rotation upside and long-term potential. And yeah, I hear the haters already, she's not going to play much this year. Cool, that's not the point. If she can crack the playoff rotation as a rookie, that's a win. That's not an expectation. It's a cherry on top. You want to talk about project players? Let's talk about Madison Scott, taken at 14, already cut. That's how ruthless this league is. Draft position means nothing. You perform or you're out. That Timson made it, that speaks louder than any draft night handshake. Here's what else people miss. This isn't just about her spot on the depth chart. It's about team construction. Indiana didn't need another flashy scorer. They needed glue. Timson's glue. She holds things together. She doesn't need the ball. She does the dirty work, the loose ball dives, the weak side help. The off-ball screens, that's the stuff that wins you minutes on a playoff team. And let's not forget, she beat out players with flashier resumes. Overseas monsters, hype machines, fan favorites, all gone. Because Michaela understood the assignment, play your role and play it hard. It's also worth noting that Indiana's front office has been cooking. That draft day trade, dropping from 8 to 19, looked wild at the time. But if they still got the player they would have taken at 8, genius, absolute masterclass. Why reach for someone flashy when you can get exactly what you want and pick up assets along the way? You can't teach that kind of front office discipline. Most GMS panic and go for names. Indiana went for fit. They built around Boston and Clark. Everyone else is just filling in the gaps. And Timson, she's a hell of a gap filler. More than that, she's insurance. A safety net in case someone in the front court goes down. She can give you 8 to 10 minutes of high-energy defense without dragging the offense into the mud. That's not sexy, but it's necessary. There's also a long-term angle here. You're not signing Michaela Timson to win you games in May 2025. You're signing her because in 2026 or 2027, when the Fever are deeper into their playoff runs, you want someone who knows the system and has grown with the team. If you get even one rotational season out of a second-round pick, that's value. But if she becomes a consistent contributor for years, that's a home run. And with this cap structure, you need those hits. You can't buy your way out of bad picks. You live with them. So you better not miss, and Indiana didn't miss. They saw something in Michaela that others didn't. They saw potential that doesn't scream in stat sheets but screams on film. They saw a partner for Boston and a protector for Clark. They saw value, not hype, and they were right.